What's up everybody, Doomwake here, and welcome to another Modern video on the channel. Before we continue, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comment section below what you thought of the video. I want to say thank you again to everybody who commented on the previous video. I think we're probably going to only use that software in very extreme circumstances if the round is, there's a ton of dead air, if the rounds go very long, but for the most part, I think I can do most of the editing myself. So thanks again for all the feedback, I really appreciate that. What do we have here today? Today we have some Saheeli combo, a deck that was popularized originally when Pioneer, well, it was originally in Standard. Some people tried it over the course of Modern's history, but it really was the most popular and when Pioneer was around, before Pioneer, when Pioneer first came a format. And then eventually it was deemed too good, so they decided to ban the combo. And what we have here is little new, little old. So we have the Saheeli combo. Obviously, for those of you who don't know, if you control Saheeli Rai and Felidar Guardian and play at the same time, you can minus the Saheeli to make a copy of Felidar, which blinks the Saheeli, and then you can do that ad nauseum. All of your 1/4s have haste. It's kind of like Splinter Twin. So that's what we're aiming for here. Now, the rest of the deck has a lot of interaction between Prismatic Ending, Teferi Time Raveler, and Solitude. So there's good interaction there. Solitude is just one of the best cards in the format right now, and really is nice as well with Saheeli Rai because you can make a copy of the Solitude, and Felidar Guardian because you can blink the Solitude. I learned those interactions when I was playing the Saheeli Rhinos deck, and this is kind of like a more, I was playing 80 cards. This is kind of a more compact, focused combo deck. The rest of the deck here, we have Oath of Nissa to not only fix our mana. The really nice thing about Oath of Nissa in combination with Ice-Fang Coatl is Ice-Fang wants you to fetch basic lands. Your Planeswalkers, however, don't want you to fetch basic lands because you have kind of some tough mana constraints with like Teferi. After you want to get like a basic forest on 1 for Oath, you want to play Cobra on 2, you also have Iteration to consider, and then you have these white cards and red cards on turn 3, you have double white down the road, so your mana can get a little stretched. So Oath of Nissa is nice to be able to fix your mana. It finds both combo pieces, Saheeli and Felidar Guardian, and it also allows you to, it gives you something else to blink with Felidar Guardian, so that's kind of cool as well. Kind of the same thing with Ice-Fang, just here to smooth out the draw. It can, provide a little bit of defense early against aggressive decks, like it can trade for, a hammer. If they play a 1-drop, you can trade for their 1-drop or 2-drop. It can snipe Ragavan when you're on the play, which is kind of a big blowout. When you play land go, they play Ragavan. You play land go, they attack you, Ice-Fang them. The game almost just ends on the spot right there. So that's good as well. And then we only have a couple of Omnaths hiding out here, which, again, I copied this deck list from a Magic Online League, and I think that moving forward, I like to play decks as they are before I make any changes, but I do think that this deck wants access to more Omnaths, because that card is just so ridiculous, and it really gives you a really robust plan B when your combo isn't online. So that's something to consider. And then rounding out the deck, we have a card that really has not seen the light of day for quite some time, and that's Lotus Cobra. The really sick thing about Lotus Cobra in this deck is when you have Lotus Cobra, Saheeli Rai, and Felidar Guardian. So you play Lotus Cobra on turn 2. Turn 3, you play your fetch land. You get a trigger with the Lotus Cobra. You sack your fetch land, get another trigger with the Lotus Cobra. You now have 3 lands in play and 2 mana floating from the Cobra. So it's 5 mana total. Use 4 of that to play a Felidar Guardian. You have 1 mana floating. Felidar Guardian blinks a land, which comes into play untapped. So you get another trigger off the Cobra, which now is 2 mana floating, plus you have the land that comes into play untapped. That's 3 mana floating. That's enough mana to cast Saheeli. So you can actually kill people on turn 3 with Lotus Cobra, which I think is really important given the speed of the format, specifically Hammer Time and Amulet Titan and Belcher and all these decks that are just like pure races. There's nothing else that matters. Lotus Cobra is really important in those matchups. A little bit worse against the other like mid-range Lurrus decks and Control because you're not trying to be as fast against them, but I think it's really important, especially against stuff like Hammer Time. And then mana base here, we're accommodating for the Lotus Cobras and Omnaths by having a ton of fetch lands. So we got 12 fetch lands, some shock lands, bunch of basics for Ice-Fang, and then, 1 of each shock land. Sideboard, we got Sanctifier and Vec for the Rakdos-based Lurrus decks. You can also bring this in against Dredge. Kataki War's Wage for Hammer Time. Thieving Skydiver, only a 1-of, but really high impact. Very good card against Hammer Time. Specifically because if you target a Colossus Hammer with Thieving Skydiver, you get to equip the hammer onto the Skydiver. So maybe that'll come up in this video. A couple copies of Flusterstorm here for control. Reclamation Sage, more anti-hammer stuff. Veil of Summer here for control, and the Thoughtseize decks. Dovin's Veto against control, and then the various some other slower combo decks. And then lastly, but certainly not least, we have an Emrakul the Eon's Torn to get those mill players right out of here. So that is the deck list. I am super excited to play some Saheeli. Again, I've played with Saheeli a little bit in Rhinos, but I haven't really experimented much with it outside of that shell. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you back here in just a little bit for round number 1. Alright, everybody, we're back here for round number 1. This is 4-color Saheeli. I don't think I'm going to keep a 5-lander. Opponent did reveal Lurrus. This hand's a little bit better, so we can keep... I think I just keep Oath, Guardian, Saheeli, Iteration, and 2 lands, and hopefully Oath into a land. At that point, is it better to just keep both lands instead of the Oath? Because there's kind of no point in keeping Oath when I'm just trying to hit land 3 anyways. I mean, I guess hypothetically, if I keep 2 lands and the Oath, and I draw a 3rd land, then I can Oath into maybe like a Solitude if they're Hammer Time or something, so maybe that's the reason to keep Oath there. It's pretty close. Alright, Drum, Memnite. Really need to find a Solitude. Yeah, that was the reason to keep the Oath. That's the reason not to keep the Oath, I guess, but... Good news is about Hammer Time is they don't have a ton of interactions, so... It's hard for them to break up our combo. It's kind of difficult for us to break up their combo. They're getting Plating, which I think is a good sign for us. Smaller chance that they have a Paladin or a Sigardizade rolled up. And... Shadow Spear. Alright, one of their last cards is Plating. They have Plating and 1 unknown card. So I'm going to get Breeding Pool. Yeah. Drew and Omnath. So I get Iteration just to try and find land 4, so I can curve Iteration into Saheeli into Felidar. Problem is, if I play Saheeli naked, they're just going to be able to kill the Saheeli with the Plating, so I can't really afford to do that. So I think what I might have to do is maybe Iteration next turn. Try to find like a Solitude or perhaps a Prismatic Ending for the Plating. But I don't really think casting Prismatic Ending is really good here. Alright, they have the Plating, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 if they activate the Nexus to make it 7. So that's 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, this is going to be tough. I think we have to draw Solitude and land 4 to be in this game. Maybe I was supposed to cast Iteration there. That might have been a punt. Alright, so they're going to fire up the Nexus. We take 10, go to 7, fetch for a Sacred Foundry. Go to 6, and what do we find? Nothing worth noting. Yeah, I can't even Iteration into the combo because I have to play the Iteration this turn. Well, if I cast Saheeli Undead on board, so I guess I have to cast Iteration. And did not find Solitude. I can Oath into Solitude, so let's go, I guess, hand, bottom, exile. Get a basic forest and try to find Solitude. No such luck. We are dead. Alright, game number 2. Wonder how different that game is if I'm in the play. It's pretty close. We don't have a ton here. We got Rexage, Kataki, and Thieving Skydiver. And I believe the card that we want to cut is Teferi. I like the Oaths to try and find Solitude and our other sideboard cards, along with Rexage. I love the endings. I love the Coatls. Iteration is maybe a bit slow. I want Cobra, because Cobra can actually let you turn 3 kill if you go Cobra into fetch land, Felidar Guardian, blink a land so you have enough mana to play Saheeli, so you have to keep the Cobras, I think. I think you need to keep all the combo pieces, so I think these are the cards that we're considering cutting. Obviously not going to cut Solitude. So I have to cut 5 of these. I think maybe Teferi is okay on the play, same with Omnath. So maybe I just want to cut, I don't know, I kind of like Iteration too. Maybe 4 Teferi in an Iteration. I'm down on white cards though, so it's 4, 8, 12, 16. Let's just go Iteration for Teferi just for Solitude purposes, because I think Solitude is one of my better cards in the matchup. So I just want to make sure I have enough white cards. Okay, so opening hand on the play against Hammer Time, Saheeli, Oath of Nissa, we have a Solitude. I think I'm going to keep this. And I can afford to get Basic Forest because I have Oath of Nissa to play Saheeli anyways, so... And I cut all of my iterations. So I don't have to worry about having, access to blue-red on turn 3 for iteration. So Oath of Nissa, reveal... Alright, I guess I will take the Misty? I think taking the Misty is fine. It's either that or the basic planes. But if I take basic planes, then let's say I take basic planes and draw Ice-Fang. I guess it wouldn't matter, because then I could just go, yeah, whatever. I think I'm overthinking things. Misty, pass. Let me just get Steam Vents end of turn, and the next turn we can play Saheeli, hold up Solitude. If they go for a Sigarda's Aid turn. Hopefully they just play a Mystic here. Yeah, I don't really mind that. Because again, we have the Solitude. And they're actually playing with green, which means they don't have discard spells. They could have the Blacksmith Skill. So that's a card we have to keep in mind, but... So let's go Steam Vents, and tap. And we're just looking for the Guardian. I think I'll save the fetch land. For Lotus Cobra purposes, and Omnath. Alright, easy bottom the land. Hopefully they... they're probably going to jam, right? I was going to say hopefully they don't jam, because I kind of want to keep the Omnath, but... They're probably going to jam. Maybe if they attack Saheeli, I just let it go. Okay. I think I'm actually fine with that. I'm only going to fire off the Solitude if they have a second hammer. I'll just take 11, because I could also draw Teferi. If they're going for it, then I have to Solitude. I don't have a choice. Alright, so kill the Stoneforge, they gain 11, they go to 30. But I don't have any creatures, so chilling for now. Also, their life total doesn't matter if we're killing them with Felidar Guardian. So keep that in mind as well. We drew a Lotus Cobra. Am I willing to play the second Saheeli? They don't usually have haste creatures. Sometimes a Ginger Brute, but so I think what I'm gonna do is play Cobra, play fetch land, make a blue, crack fetch land, get a plains, make a red, scry with Saheeli, bottom the Cobra, play second Saheeli. Just to get a card deeper into my deck. Do I want to keep Prismatic Ending? It's kind of close. I don't think I do. I think I just want to look for the combo. It's possible I'm supposed to keep that, but... kind of just shoving all in the combo. Sentinels, whatever. And just Luris? Luris is also fine. Prismatic Ending, sure. Felidar Guardian, no such luck. Bottom that, and hope they don't have another planes. We're representing Solitude, though. But they'll certainly go for it if they have another hammer. They're not going to play another Solitude. Okay, Luris is alright. So they have Luris, 2 unknowns. They're attacking Saheeli, which leads me to believe they don't have it, and they don't. So I'm going to scry before playing the Ice-Fang. Because if there's a sorcery speed card on top, I could Ice-Fang into it. So we know they have a Luris in hand. Do we want a Prismatic Ending? So I could keep ending play the Ice-Fang, trade for the Sentinel, next turn ending the Lurrus. It was actually kind of close. I could also ending the Sigarda's Aid, which maybe that's the safest line. Maybe just ending the Sigarda's Aid. So let's go put that on top, because that plays around them drawing a Stoneforge Mystic. I'm going to save the fetch land in hand for potential Omnath. But knowing they have the Lurrus means I'm not going to block this turn. But again, I don't mind them just like, they attack Saheeli for 1, I plus it, and we're just kind of in this holding pattern. That I'm okay with. But obviously, if I trade for the Sentinel, they can just get it back with Lurrus this turn. So I don't want to do that. They have 2 cards. They definitely should have attacked. Because they hadn't used Lurrus yet, right? Alright, it's plus Saheeli. We are looking for a Felidar Guardian, which is now on top of our library. I am just going to kill the Lurrus, I think. We'll pay the 1, we'll pass the turn. Got a blocker up. Everything should be good to go. Barring them having, like, Path to Exile, maybe? Which they sometimes have. Alright, that's fine, I'll block. I guess they could go Equip and Prismatic Ending my Ice-Fang. Alright, they don't have that. I will block. Trade happens. They have 2 cards. Ornithopter, Equip. Let's see if their last card's Path. Be a little unfortunate if it was, but... Bottom that. Let's blink Saheeli. And we'll make a bunch of things. Alright. We're going to game number 3. So, play versus draw. Does that matter with, like, Teferi versus Iteration? They're both kind of bad. I really don't know which one is better, to be quite honest with you. I'd prefer to have neither of them in my deck, but I think just Teferi being a white card for Solitude. And, like, typically you don't want to pitch your other white cards because they're, you know, more high impact. So just having, like, an extra random white card laying around I think is more important. So we'll just do this again. Okay. We're here for game number 3, and we got a really slow hand with multiple Reclamation Sages, no combo pieces, no 2-drops, no Solitudes. I really don't like this hand. I feel like I would consider keeping this in the play, but I really think it's too slow in the draw. Like, your first spell is on turn 3. I just don't think that's good enough. I mean, as I've, you know, as I've stated before, Kataki is not the best card against some of Hammer's draws, but I think on 6 you're kind of priced into keeping this. So let's keep and put back probably one of the islands. And then we can just lead Temple Garden into Island. Again, Kataki is really good against some of their draws, but not against, you know. Okay, Prismatic Ending was huge there. So let's go Temple Garden, Prismatic Ending, the Sigarda's Aid. Alright, Prismatic Ending was a huge pickup there. That was necessary. Okay. Also, Kataki is kind of nice because if they choose to pay for the Ornithopter, they then can't make a token with Saga. So, Kataki is pretty good here because they, I would assume, are going to make a Construct rather than keep the Ornithopter, so then, yeah, they'll sacrifice the Ornithopter, but then they have to pay for the Construct, which means they can't make another one, and Kataki is decent against their Saga draws. The question is, do I want to bounce their Saga here? I think I do. Alright, does that change things? Yeah, I think I'll just hold. I think I'll just do that then. I don't want to offer the trade of Kataki for Saga, because if I attack, they just go make a token, block, and then they don't have to pay for the token, which means they get to make a second token. But doing it this way means that if they pay for the token, they can't make another one. And I have the Ice-Fang to block. I should have played a basic there. Yeah, I should have played a basic there, so then I could have played another basic next turn and had Death Touch. Yeah, that was a mistake. Should have definitely played a basic there. Okay, Shadow Spear's fine. I can just bounce the Construct now. If Horizon Canopy... Are they just equipping? Okay, that I'm totally fine with. We'll just take our 3. Not a huge deal. Go to 15. Alright, draw a card off the Ice-Fang. Ooh. Okay, well, now I kind of want to play Rexage because I want to keep a white card in hand for Solitude. So I'll just blow this up. I'm going to play the Misty here. Although I do, again, kind of want to get a basic, but if I get a basic, I don't have red source, so maybe I just get a Steam Vents. Death Touch might not be too relevant on the Coatl, but... I guess that was kind of dumb, because I don't need to have a white card in my hand for Solitude when I just have a 5th land next turn. So I probably should have played Teferi there, and just like kept the Teferi in play. The next turn I can go plus Teferi, hold up Solitude. And it's like really hard for them to get out of that. That's kind of like the squeeze. Alright, they have a Paladin. Totally fine. I do want to get a red source. Just in case I draw on Neff. Oath of Nissa. I think I'd rather just hold up Solitude here. So I'm going to leave back the Kataki. I don't think I want to trade Kataki for Paladin. That one's close, but... And then they're going to pay for the Shadow Spear, and then if they go to play a Hammer, I'll respond in Solitude the Paladin. Let's go Solitude the Paladin. Paladin gone, they gain some life. Colossus Hammer resolves. Now they have an extra artifact to pay for with the Kataki. We have a pretty good board presence, plus Teferi, plus another cantrip. This game should be pretty close to over. Not really sure what sequence of events get them out of this. I am going to cast Oath first. Okay. Well, now it's time to just take their hammer. It's time to hammer up the Skydiver. The fact that Skydiver equips the hammer to it is so sick, too. God. Oh, man. Skydiver is so sick. I almost just want to play like 4 Skydivers to beat Hammer. Because it's such a beating when you get to just steal their hammer to go back to the Skydiver. It's so good. Stoneforge Mystic. That one is a little late to the party. Little late to the party. Got a hammer. Casting a Memnite. Okay. They have 3 cards. As is, they have to chump block. So 2 cards, one of which is a hammer. Oh no, I have to pay for my hammer. How unfortunate. I guess I'll pay. Prismatic Ending, huh? Let's just go to attacks. I guess I'm going to leave back... I kind of want to leave back both of these. So this forces 1 chump block, then I can Ending the Stoneforge and Teferi the Memnite. I couldn't have killed them because I could have gone Teferi Ending, and then they still had a blocker. But this leaves me with an additional blocker after I cast the Teferi and the Ending. So it should be fine. Okay, now I don't even have to cast the Ending, I just go... no. Let's play the Oath. Let's take Felidar Guardian. And then I'll just Ending this for good measure. Just so they can't kill us next turn. Just always make sure they don't have a creature in play. And then if they have a creature next turn, we can Teferi it. Should be fine. They agree. Alright, so lost game 1 and won the post-board games. yeah, that was a sweet match. So I will see you back here in just a little bit for round number 2. All right, everybody. Round number 3, kind of like round number 2. Unfortunately, I apologize. There was some issue with the video. It was downloaded. I don't really know what happened. The file got corrupted. Long story short, we played a ridiculously long match, and I was able to get edge it out against it was like blue, white, black, like Thopter, Urza. Anyway, we're 2-0. Even though we only played 1 round. And this is round number 3. We are on the draw against Aluris, and I think I'm willing to keep this. Kind of awkward if they Thoughtseize our Oath of Nissa, because we are, a little bit light on lands, but hopefully if they do that, then we can find another land. Almost certainly going to take the Oath now. But I mean, like, against the deck with a bunch of discard spells, it's really hard mulliganing, so I just like keeping a hand that has a lot of resources. Even though now we need to kind of find lands. And that is not a land. It's a good draw, though, for sure. Definitely one of our better draws. This is Dothy Voidwalker. I'm going to fetch in response. They don't get the fetch land. Kind of awkward if I get Temple Garden, because I won't be able to cast... I guess I would need a 3rd land to be able to play Saheeli, but Forest and Plains won't cast Saheeli. Every other land would, though. I'm just going to get the Temple Garden. There's the Forest. Do I want to play Lotus Cobra? I think I do. It's high upside. I mean, there's a good chance it just dies, but I think playing it here is pretty high upside. Because that also gives me the colored mana that I need to play the Saheeli. And also, if for some reason they don't kill the Cobra, and they just, like, I don't know what they would do. Just, like, play some random creatures, a fetch land would kill them. Oh, so I should have played the Forest there. Because that means, yeah, I should have played the Forest there. Because if you go fetch land, if you go Cobra into fetch land, you can go 2 mana, fetch land, add a mana, that's 3, crack the fetch, you now have 3, 5 mana, use 4 of it, 1 floating, play Felidar, blink a land comes back into play untapped, so you have 2 mana floating, and then you have the land untapped to play the Saheeli. So I should have saved the fetch land there. They did have the Thoughtseize, so I wouldn't have been able to combo them anyways, but I should have saved the fetch land. My thought process was, like, I wanted to be able to play the Coatl. Oh, no, because I played the fetch land on turn 1. What am I saying? Yeah, I played the fetch land on turn 1. I guess I could have led on Steam Vents. So they're playing Teferi. Okay. Yeah, because the fetch land was the first land that I played, right? Well, interesting to play the Teferi there. Tarmogoyf. Okay. So now I can just go Cobra Coatl. Let's play Cobra. Make a blue. Play Coatl. Fetch land would be a good draw. Nope, no fetch land. Black-green, what's this? Removal spell for Cobra, maybe? The Goyf? Witherbloom command, huh? Mill 3, kill my Cobra. Alright, touche. Touche. Really want to find a land here. So I can just play Felidar Guardian, blink the Coatl, and then have double Saheeli up the following turn. Elvish Reclaimer. Okay, some cool stuff going on over there. That is not a land, and I now have no castable spells. Yeah, punish for getting that Temple Garden for sure. Alright, your turn. I guess I can attack Teferi. I'm not chump blocking with the Coatl, right? Because again, I think one of my best draws is just a land to go Felidar, blink the Ice-Fang. So I can take 7 this turn, go to 6. Next turn, rip land, blink Coatl, chump here, take 3. Oh, that almost certainly does it. So we take 8, go to 5. And we are... I guess we're not technically dead. So I can go ending this, chump block. I don't think I have any outs, but... I don't think I have any outs. Yeah, they plus Tef, I chump here, go to 2. Dead to any removal spell, too. Shadow Spear also kills us. Yeah, they just equip the Turok. Okay. Game number 2 against, I guess, just like black-green mid-range? I assume they have Urza Saga because they're a Reclaimer deck. So, black-green mid-range. Sanctifier, not the best against Tarmogoyf. Kataki is fine against Saga, but they don't really have any other artifacts. Thieving Skydiver is decent-ish against Saga. Reclamation Sage is, I think, my best card against Saga. Veil of Summer is quite good. Let's bring in Veil. Let's bring in Sage, and I think let's just cut Teferi. Is there ever a world where I would cut Cobra? It's kind of my lowest impact card. And like, if you look at the way my deck is constructed now, it's just like almost every single card replaces itself, you know? Draw card, draw card, draw card, 2 for 1, draw card. Most of the time, draw card, 2 for 1, draw card. Yeah, I think I like this setup better. Just like kind of make your deck a little bit more threat dense, and I think Cobra is good in the matchups where you're racing. I don't think that this is one of those matchups. Like, you can definitely play a long game with them. I think most of the time your long game is going to be better than theirs. I mean, they have Luris, but if you're like blinking Solitudes and getting value with Teferi and Omnath and that kind of stuff, then I think you have Iteration, which they don't have access to. So I think for the most part your late game is better. I think this is a fine setup. And Cobra's a lot better when you're racing, like against Hammer Time. Nope. Not keepable. Sheesh. Alright, going to 5 against Thoughtseize. Not the best. Alright, Misty Go. This might be a quick round. Going to 5 against Thoughtseize. Probably going to get Thoughtseized, because they always, yeah. I mean, they play 8 discard spells, so. No free information for you. Not happening. Not happening. I should put a stop my upkeep. I'm just going to fetch a forest. No, that's dumb. I want to be able to cast an Ice-Fang if I draw it, so let's actually get an island. I can go Sacred Foundry, Basic Forest. Yeah, that should be fine. Yavimaya. Okay. Yikes. Alright, well, let's find a spell, please. Let's find a spell. That is not a spell. It's been a rough couple of games. I mean, our hand game 1 was kind of okay. I think I might have punted game 1 just by, like, potentially fetching the wrong land on turn 1. I don't really know. It's really close. Like, I had reasons for wanting to fetch the Temple Garden. I had the Saheeli in my hand, so it's, obviously awkward there because I couldn't cast the Saheeli, but I definitely had reasons for fetching the Temple Garden that I did. So I think it's just kind of awkward the way my draw lined up. Again, saving the fetch lands for Omnath. We'll eventually draw a spell, right? Right. Take 5, go to 11, then make a Saga token. It's not looking great. Alright, I think I've seen enough. Unfortunate series of draws, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles. I'll see you back here in just a little bit for round number 4. Alright, everybody, round number 4 with Saheeli, 4-color Saheeli, another Luris deck, and seems okay. Got an Oath, we got a Saheeli. I think I'm going to get a Basic Forest. Basic Forest is kind of awkward. Basic Forest is awkward if I draw... Basic Forest is awkward if I draw Expressive Iteration. Just in case they're burned, I don't really want to shock. I think it's not worth shocking. Because I can't take Iteration off the Oath anyways. I'll just take Teferi. Take Teferi and then just not draw lands. Probably is what's going to happen. Bobble. Let's see what Luris deck they are. Could be Burn, could be Shadow. Looks like Shadow. I guess could be Rakdos, but Thoughtseize. Hand's pretty good against Thoughtseize. Like Solitude is really good against them, and then 2 Planeswalkers, so kind of okay. Let's see what they decide to take. They took a Solitude, so they probably have a second discard spell. Is what that tells me. I guess they don't know our top card because they bubble themselves. Lotus Cobra. All right, save the fetch land. Save the fetch land for the Cobra. Bobble me. All right, what do we got? And it's their turn. If they dash Ragavan, I just trade? Kind of want to just trade if they dash Ragavan, to be honest. Because then I could just go land Saheeli plus hold up Solitude. I think I like that. The other option is Solitude pitch Teferi to kill the Ragavan. Okay. Let's go Windswept Heath. No, they don't know about the Heath, right? They know about the Flooded Strand. So let's play the fetch they know about. And then I'm just going to cast Teferi pre-combat. Blue, white, this. Also, playing Teferi first means they can't drown it because I only have 2 cards in my graveyard. So that's why you don't want to fetch here. You always want to try to limit the amount of cards in your graveyard to play around Drown in the Loch as best as you can. Although I think if they had Drown, they might have... Well, no, they wouldn't have main phase killed the Cobra, because there's a chance I fetch, but... So they're going to kill the Cobra now, which is fine. Sure. Fatal Push, and then I'm just going to go... I could bounce my Oath, but that's worse if they have Unholy Heat. Sorcery, Artifact, Instant Land. So Heat's already turned on anyways. So I probably should just bounce the Oath. Yeah, I have to get a Breeding Pool. Because then this can get Sacred Foundry for second White Source for Solitude. Yeah, so let's go bounce the Oath, play the Oath. Let's just take a second Solitude, which I think is best if they have another discard spell. Which, again, we kind of thought they did, because they took the first Solitude with the first Thoughtseize. And I feel pretty confident in saying they have Drown in the Loch in their hand. It's not 100%, but they kind of tanked for a little bit when I played the Teferi, so I think they thought they might have been able to drown the Teferi. But obviously we can just play our land before cracking the fetch. So this turn might be like Heat. No, not Heat Teferi. Okay, so they don't have Heat. Still could have Drown, for sure. Plus the Teferi. And then I think I'm just going to cast the Saheeli. Uptick. I guess I'll keep drawing Solitudes. Especially because I might have to cast this one this turn. I think if they're going after Teferi, I will Solitude, pitch Solitude. If they attack Saheeli, I think I might just let that happen. Okay, well, now I'm definitely going to do it. Because I have no cards left in my hand anyways. Cool thing about that is they couldn't cast Rest Down in response to that. So that was just going to happen. And we have the 4th Solitude on top, so... Which they don't know about. What's this? It's just Luris? I'm totally fine with that. So now I'm going to go fetch an island. Yeah, I'm going to fetch an island, and I want to fetch before Saheeling because I want to not have to mess with the top card. I don't think I want a second one of those. But if I Saheeli before I fetch, then I have to, if I want the card, I have to shuffle it away. So they know I kept the card on top and didn't play Felidar Guardian. This is about the only other card I would think I would top. Or like an iteration where I would just cast it. So there's not many cards that I would put on top that I wouldn't just play. That maybe should have been a Steam Vents for the consideration of drawing Omnath, because now I have to play my fetch land before I play Omnath. They have a bobble. It's totally fine. Bobbling me. Is it a good card? Is it a good one? I was just going to say, if they concede, it's probably Felidar Guardian. That's funny. Alright, game number 2 against Grixis Shadow. Sanctifier is kind of nutso against them. Bale of Summer is absurd. Veto is okay. I'm not the biggest fan of it. Sage, Kataki, Skynever, Emrakul, all bad. Flusterstorm is... You can consider it. Again, I think I'm just going to do the same thing as last time. This seems like not a Lotus Cobra matchup. I think that makes a lot of sense. And then... What else am I cutting? I don't know. All my cards are really good. Bringing in Veils and Sanctifiers, huh? Can I cut a Saheeli? I'd almost rather just cut a land. Because I'm cutting the Cobras, which means I don't need the fetch lands as much. I can probably just afford to cut a fetch land. What's my worst fetch land? Probably the not the white one, because I'm bringing in Sanctifier. Now, let's cut a Misty. It seems weird to cut a land, but, like, on the draw in a matchup where you kind of want all of your cards to be as high impact as possible, I think it does make sense. I'm not going to keep a one-lander. Well, this hand can't cast spells. This hand has no lands. Alright, I will keep 2 lands. Teferi, Solitude, I guess. Alright, seems like we're going to be going to game 3 here pretty shortly. Well, cuts a land from his deck, immediately just mulligans to 4 after having, you know, 2 one-landers and a no-lander. So, it's almost like that could have been avoided. Am I just solituding this on stone cold nothing? Probably. It's not good. It's definitely not good, but it's better than dying to it, so... Cool thing about this is I get to blank discard spells, because I just have no cards in my hand. I'm not going to fetch yet, because if I get Sacred Foundry... Oh, get a one-lander. Alright, alright, alright. I'll take that. Go. Now I can fetch Sacred Foundry. What I was going to say is if I fetch Sacred Foundry end of turn, which obviously I need red and white mana with my Forest Island, I wouldn't be able to play Ice-Fang on 2, so I wanted to wait, you know. Because if I draw Ice-Fang, I can get a non-Sacred Foundry land. Now I have all my colors, so it's fine. Drew a land. They never drew land 2, we had a shot, but unfortunately they drew their second land, which means now we're probably dead. It's like a Thoughtseize. Yeah. Alright, my spell's gone. I'll take an Omnath, please. I will take 1 Omnath, please. Well, it's not bad. They don't have drawn mana up. They bring in Dispute. Oh, Spell Pierce. No. Forgot they played that card. I mean, not that I'm going to hold my spell. I'm going to play it. But... Now Omnath would be pretty good. Iteration. So sorcery, instant land. Okay, that's not... So artifact or creature. So Blood Crypt. And looks like attack for 1. Alright, Omnath, please. Shadow. Okay, it's a spell. It's not the best spell. I guess I'll take the fetch, but not crack the fetch. Leave the fetch in play in case I draw Omnath. Okay, not a fetch land for Death Shadow. And they have 4 cards in hand. Take 2 good of 15s. They probably have Drown. Not that I can play around anything. I have to just basically cast every spell that I draw. Maybe I should have targeted the Channeler. I assumed it was getting countered either way. Yeah, probably should have targeted the Channeler, but regardless of what I target, they just counter it. They bend a Spell Pierce. Still no Delirium. Now they can attack for 5. Five, huh? Should I main phase that? I think I should because I could draw Teferi. Or Iteration, or Prismatic Ending. There's a lot of cards I could draw. Assume it gets countered either way, but... Alright, that works. But I do have a basic in play, which means I can trade. Let's leave another dress down. I can at least try to trade. Or they have Removal Spell. Alright, cool. So this is 7 damage. I don't know if we have any outs now. Guess maybe Solitude. Which means I should probably fetch a tapped white source end of turn. Because I'm going to be at 3 and I can't afford to fetch Shock. Okay, we're dead to a fetch land. They put a card on top, which means that's probably the lethal fetch land. Polluted Delta. Alright, game number 3. Game number 3. Yeah, I really don't know what I should be cutting. I mean, obviously it seems weird to cut a land, but like all my cards are so good. Maybe my worst card is Omnath. As weird as that sounds, because it's like, it's expensive, and it's not the best against Drown. It is really good against Spell Pierce, though, which means I probably have to keep it. If they're going to load up on... They showed us at least 2 Spell Pierces, so if they're loading up on Pierces, having access to Omnath is really important. Just like a really big threat that they can't Spell Pierce. Yeah, sounds good. Sand's got lands and spells. Can't ask for much more. So I'm going to lead on, I think... It's probably going to have to be Temple Garden into... I could go Temple Garden, Sacred Foundry, Island. I'm trying to minimize the amount of damage I take. Temple Garden, Sacred Foundry, Island. And I think that casts most of my stuff, right? Yeah, okay, that should be fine. Could always go Temple Garden, Plains Island, but then I want to have red for Saheeli, so... Alright, let's get Sacred Foundry. Let's play the Sanctifier, and then I think I'm going to lead on Teferi. Especially if they hold up mana. If they hold up drawn mana, I think I'm going to lead on Teferi. I mean, ideal scenario is I just draw a non-fetch land blue source, and then I just windmill the Teferi. Alright, our hand's like actually pretty good against Thoughtseize because they can't take the Felidar, they have to take a Planeswalker. Which means they probably have to take Saheeli. I don't know, it depends on their hand. I guess they could just take Teferi and then hold up interaction for the Saheeli potentially. They also could have a second discard spell. Oh, they have Spell Pierce. I mean, I'm going to play into it. Yeah, I'm just going to use all my mana. Good chance they have Pierce. Oh, they didn't. Cool. How likely is it they're going to kill Saheeli? Well, they can have Drown for Felidar Guardian. I think I'm going to top that. I know it's like, doesn't guarantee a win next turn if I find a land. That attack might have been loose against Ragavan, but yeah, like, topping the Solitude doesn't guarantee my 4th land drop for Felidar Guardian, But I think there's a good chance they have Drawn in the Lock anyways, which means my combo is going to get broken up. And at that point, I can just draw the Solitude. Oh, they're going to end step Dress Down. Okay, that's fine. Sure. Which means I guess they can also kill my Sanctifier. Yeah, that kind of sucks. Alright. So let's play Oath before I Saheeli so I can not mess with the Scry. Another Sanctifier, huh? I don't have a white source, though. I'm gonna have to take the Misty. Scry. I think I want a third Felidar. Then we'll pass. But yeah, I couldn't go for the combo there because they had the Dress Down. I mean, they're at 8, and they know about the Felidar Guardians. They can't really afford to tap out. I kind of just want to find a land so I can go for Solitude. Like, what they might do this turn is, like, Shadow hold up Dress Down. We'll see. See what they do. It's been an interesting game, for sure. First two games, maybe not the most interesting. Well, game 2 definitely wasn't. Game 1 was alright, but this game has been, I think, the most interesting of the 3. That was a cool play by them. End step Dress Down to make it so I couldn't Felidar them, and then they get to heat the Sanctifier because it doesn't have pro red anymore. Okay. Iteration happens. It's now... I mean, I assume they have a land in their hand if they're doing this, right? Unless they don't have... Unless they're just really looking for land. We could also find Veil of Summer. That's a card we haven't seen yet. And we could find, like, Veil plus land. They exiled Ragavan. Okay, so now they have to pass. They can't dash the Ragavan, right? Okay. Oh, they have heat. That's what this is. Okay, they have heat. Sure. I see. Let's see what's going on here. All right, let's get Hallowed Fountain, I think. No, we already have 2 white. Let's get Breeding Pool. Do I make them cast the heat? It's a good question. It's plus here. More Solitudes, huh? Is there a chance they would have just heated the Saheeli? No, because they wanted me to go for it, right? I think I'm going to top that. I think I'm going to top that and just go for it. Because even if they kill the Felidar Guardian, I don't think it's that bad. Although, wouldn't they just kill Saheeli? Yeah, but if they were going to do this, why wouldn't they just... Oh, because they didn't want me to blink the Oath. I see. I see. Okay. Yeah, if they're going to kill the Saheeli... sure, that's fine. But they have 3 cards. They're at 4. I have another Solitude on top, which is a really good card. I drew an Ending. I mean, we kind of need an additional land. But once we find land 5, we're kind of off to the races with the double Solitude. It's like, what else am I doing there if I don't go for it? Because they're just going to end of turn the heat anyways, right? So this way I at least get the Felidar in play, which I think is good. Maybe I should have bottomed the Saheeli, because I don't have a 5th land. Okay, get ending that. I have 2 cards. I'm just going to lead on ending, see what they do. If they drown this, then I might Solitude it, or I might just take a hit and try to find a land to play to hardcast the Solitude. See, the thing is, like, I was going to say, we put a card on top. They can't really just, like, afford to drown that, right? Because then what if I have Saheeli? So, we kind of put them in this weird spot where, like, we topped a card. They didn't know what it was. So, I think this is good. We're kind of just chilling here until we find land 5. They're 2. Land 5 would be dope. Yeah, maybe... Maybe topping the second Solitude was bad. Discard 2 damage. Well, that kind of sucks. That kind of sucks, because now I can't play the Solitude. It's nice they didn't have a creature to get back, but... Is their last card a land? I hope their last card's not a land. I think it is. Oh, that's bad too. Teferi or Ending. Now we draw the Veil of Summer. Thanks a lot, deck. Alright, your turn. So I can... No, there's no reason to chump block and play Kroxa, right? There's no reason to chump block and then Veil the Kroxa. Because if I chump block and Veil the Kroxa, I have no outs. Whereas if I take the hit, go to 1. Yeah. Take the hit, go to 1. They Kroxa me, I discard Veil on tap, rip Saheeli. Yeah, the Cold against command into Kroxa. That was rough. Okay. Saheeli? Not quite. Not quite Saheeli. Flooded Strand, Oath of Nissa, Windswept Heath. Well, my fetch lands are dead. So I guess I'll put a fetch land in hand, exile the Oath, cast the Oath, try to find... I don't even know at this point. I mean, I could chump block. I don't think I have any outs, though. Yeah, because if I chump block, then I... Well... I guess I could... Do I have any Solitudes left? I have 2. What's this? Oh, they drew Drown. Oh, I could have veiled that, but then I was dead to the Croaks anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered. If I Veil of Summer that, I can chump block, but then they Croaks me. They know my last card's a land, so it wouldn't have mattered. That was a really tough match. I don't know if... So I think where I may have messed up was putting the Solitude on top, but I only had 4 lands. That was definitely a mistake. Tough game. That one's going to have to be one I have to go back and watch. Let me know in the comments if there's anything that, you know, glaring misplays or something you would have done different, because I feel like I had the tools to win that game. But in any case, we are 2-2, and I will see you back here in just a little bit for round number 5. All right, everybody, round number 5. Let's see if we can complete the 3-2. We're not going to do 6 lands and a Solitude, let me tell you that much. Okay, this one is, I think, a little bit better. I think I'm going to put back the second Cobra. And then I'm going to lean on Fountain because this is going to have to get a shock land anyways. And if I draw another fetch land, well, I guess I could just go Temple Garden into thing, but kind of be the same thing either way. Looks like Hammer again. That was a good draw. So let's get... I have to get a green, which means I can't get green-red. So I guess I'll get Temple Garden. We'll go Lotus Cobra, pass. Solitude was definitely a good pickup. So yeah, looks like the blue-white Hammer time with no Luris deck. That's a Saga. That's a Shadow Spear. And what else we got? I can take this trade. This trade's not actually that bad for me, because I need to find a land to play these Planeswalkers anyways, but no, the trade's kind of bad, because if I take the trade, then a Forest or a Plains or like a non-red land won't cast Saheeli. So that's the issue with taking the trade. Didn't find a land, which is pretty unfortunate, but what I can do about that? I won't pay for that one. Attack for 2 kind of stinks, but kind of stinks. So now we go land, activate Saga. Kind of need to find a land right now to be in this game, I think. Attack, I'll take 1. That's totally fine. Did we find a land? Did not. I guess I'll pay for the Sentinel, because I can't play any spells anyways. Try and find a land, please. Okay. Fetch land does allow us to play Teferi, or Saheeli for that matter. Probably Saheeli because I want to hold up Solitude pitch. So let's go Misty for Steam Vents. Because I want to have red mana in play to play the second Saheeli. Oh no, I have Oath of Nissa, yeah, okay. So, blue... Just can get a forest then. Take less damage. Red, green, Saheeli. Plus Saheeli. I don't think I'm looking for a Teferi. No, I think I'm just going to bin that. Bin that, no attacks. Can't attack into the Saga token because that's a 3/3. And then if they attack Saheeli, I can Solitude the Construct, which is not a great line, but it's a line. It's going to be tough. Second Saga. They're going to equip the Construct. It's fine. Attacking Saheeli, that's attacking me. Solitude. Don't want a Solitude. I could let Saheeli die. And then just go Tef bounce this. What if I go trade for Sentinel, let Saheeli die, untap, Tef bounce this, try to rip a white card? I think that's actually better. Yeah, I think I like that better. Because I don't really need the Cobra anyways at this point. Like, I need to find lands regardless. And this also means that I don't have... The Sentinel's not in play anymore, so I don't have to pay for the Sentinel. Okay, didn't draw a white card. But we're doing okay-ish. Not doing great, but... Could be worse. I think I like that line. What's this? 1 mana. Steel Shaper's Gift. Okay. It's a lot of hammer time on Moto. Lots and lots of hammer time. They got Sword of Fire and Ice. Okay. Probably attacking Teferi, which I will just let that happen. Alright, we need to find a white card. Okay, that counts. The question is, do I cast Ending or do I just play Solitude? I could gamble a little bit and hope that they only attack Saheeli with 1 token, and then I could just Solitude the token that's attacking Saheeli. Which I think is a better line, because if let's say I go Ending this, play Saheeli, then they just get this kill Saheeli, right? Because they go instead, make a 3/3 untap, make a token. Yeah, so I think I have to gamble a little bit and just kind of hope that they only send 1 token at Saheeli. And also hope that I draw a Felidar Guardian. Token, that happens. What do we got? Getting a hammer, probably? Springleaf Drum, sure. Yeah, so we just have to hope that they only attack Saheeli with 1, and we still have to draw the Felidar Guardian. Not great odds, but, you know. Maybe there's a world where they send both at Saheeli, I just let Saheeli die, and then I can hardcast Solitude next turn to survive and ending a token, but Double Saga is really rough. The first one is, like, usually beatable, but the second one is tough. Analysis 2. Okay, that's not good. Maybe they'll just go for me. Cool with that. Alright, let's draw Felidar Guardian, please. I'm not asking for much, just a Felidar Guardian. That's all I want. Please. Nope. I think we're dead. Yeah, we're dead. Alright, beats. Beats. It's been a rough league. Alright, we're going to do the same thing. Gataki's in, Skydiver in, Sage in, and then we cut, I think we cut 3 iteration 2 Teferi last time, and that made sense. So, let's do that again. Them having access to blue doesn't really change my sideboarding. Like, they might have mana leaks, but I don't care that much. Like, I guess you could maybe justify Flusterstorm, but it's so bad against everything else. Like, mana leak is literally the only target, so I don't think it's worth it. Game number 2. We got an Ice-Fang, a Rex Sage, a Felidar. This hand's pretty good. I'll keep this hand. I just want to go basics here. Yeah, I think so. At least the first 2. At least the first 2 are getting basics. Potentially get a Shockwave with one of these, but there's no way they're going to attack an Ice-Fang here, right? Right. Okay, that thing we can kill. Yeah, got a drum. Pure Steel Paladin. So we're going to go Island, Forest, play Coatl, and then we can go Plains, kill the Saga. Still think I'm going to get Plains this turn. I just want to YOLO jam the Saheeli, and then protect with Solitude. Is there any way I can die if I go Saheeli, hold up Solitude? I don't think so. Shouldn't auto-yield. Pay 1, no. Plus. That's pretty good backup insurance, too, if this doesn't go well. But yeah, I think Saheeli hold up Solitude with the second Felidar and then just untap Felidar should be good. I guess they could have the Needle in hand. What's this? White, 1. And they have 1 mana left over. So if I Solitude the Pure Steel Paladin in response to this, and then they only have 1 mana left, they can't spell Pierce the Felidar Guardian, I guess they get a Path. I did it in response to the Nettlesess because I didn't want them drawing a card. I'll trade just to get material off the board. Let's crack this, get Plains, plus the Saheeli. Sure, I'll top that just in case this doesn't go well, but I assume it's going to go well. All right, game number 3. That's all we need. Just turn 3 Saheeli, backed up with Solitude, and turn 4 combo. So let's do that again. That's the recipe. That is the recipe for success. This hand doesn't have a Solitude, but it does have an Ending and a good play on 3, and a Felidar to blink the Sage, Teferi 2. I'm definitely keeping it. Can't really mulligan a hand like this. Question is, what lands do I want to get? Probably just going to get 2 shock lands. Do I want to fire off the Ending? Yeah, I think I do. So let's go Hallowed Fountain? No. Well, I could just go... I can go Hallowed Fountain, Steam Vents, Forest, right? Which should be fine. So let's go Hallowed Fountain here. Let's go Hallowed Fountain, ending this. Sucks they get the draw card, but I don't want to play the Oath on one, because then they're going to just get the draw card next turn, so it's kind of the same thing. I guess this is worse if they have Paladin, because I might have wanted to just Prismatic Ending the Paladin, but... Second Sentinel. And a Sigarda's Aid. That's bad. That is not great. So I can Oath and try to hit exactly Solitude. Or I could play Kataki, they have to pay for the Sentinel, and then I could chump block and then Sage the Sentinel. That's safer, for sure. Yeah, I think I'm just going to take the safe line. Even though I think Oath, like, imagine if I go for Oath, blink on the Solitude, and they just have double Hammer. Whereas this way, I block. If they have Hammer, then that's fine. I can just let them hammer me, and then I can Sage the Sentinel next turn. So it's not the end of the world. I am going to block. 100% blocking. Blocking every time. What's this? This is probably Hammer. Hammer's fine. I accept the Hammer, because we have the Rec Sage. Okay, block happens. Let's go Steam Vents here, and then I'm just going to play the Rec Sage. Rec Sage the Sentinel, and then next turn, potentially blink the Felidar to Rec Sage something else, maybe Teferi. See what they do. Alright, Stoneforge Mystic. Let's see if they have a land. No land would be kind of clutch here, because then I could blink the Sage and kill the Aid. Question is, do we risk them trading? No, I'm just going to main phase it. Oh. Well, now I could just go Tef plus and ending the Sigarda's Aid, which I think is better. So let's go get an island. Oh, no, I can't, because I didn't fetch a second blue. All right, whoops. I guess I'll play Felidar. Felidar is a better use of my mana anyways, so I think it's fine. But I should have got a White Source there. For sure. Again, I could attack first, but the fact that they're missing land drops means there's a decent chance their hand has a good amount of creatures in it. So if I take that line of attack first and they just block, then they can just go like creature whatever, you know what I mean? Okay, they have another Aid, so we know they have Hammer, which means I'm going to block, probably with the Reclamation Sage, because that gives me outs to find Saheeli. Whereas if I block with Felidar, then my Saheeli dies. Or if I block a Felidar, Felidar dies. Yeah, they had all that stuff. Because now Saheeli is just a win. So they have the Hammer. Hammer's fine. How about another Felidar Guardian? So we can go Oath first to try and find Saheeli. Which we missed, but we got a White Source, which is fine. And now I can go... Now I can Teferi Ending. The question is, what am I bouncing, what am I killing? Maybe go kill the Sigarda's Aid. No. Kill the Stoneforge, and then just pass? Like Tef Plus. So yeah, let's go... Plains, white, blue, this. Play Teferi first. I guess I could also just plus... Oh, no. I gotta bounce the Stoneforge, right? Bounce the Stoneforge, ending the Sigarda's Aid. What are they casting? They're casting Blacksmith Skill on the Stoneforge Mystic. Okay, well now I can just kill the Hammer, right? I can just go uptick and then pass. And kill the Hammer at instant speed. Yeah, this is fine. So let's go block. Ending the Hammer. Done. Hammer's down. Block the Stoneforge. They have 2 cards left. They have Nettle Cyst. Okay, it's fine. So I assume they're not... Yeah, they're not going to equip. But now I can just bounce the Germ Token. Which I think I will do. And then we can go... let's go... Prismatic Ending the Nettle Cyst. done. Is that better than just... I could Felidar, blink the... No, that's... Yeah, that's better. So it's better to do it this way. So Prismatic Ending, Nettle Cyst, play tap land and pass. I have to end the Nettle Cyst on my turn because I minus the Teferi there. So obviously if I drew the Prismatic Ending, then I wouldn't have, you know, I would have just cast the ending and I wouldn't have had to minus the Teferi, but I drew the ending off the Teferi, so. Let's go plus Tef. Let's go Felidar. Blink the Oath. Trying to find Saheeli for the win. Did not find Saheeli. Play this tapped. Guess I could have blinked Teferi, but... next turn, I can blink the Oath to give me 4 looks at Saheeli. Yeah, I can... or not blink, but I can bounce the Oath with Teferi, which I think I will do. I guess that's free. Right? So let's do that. Draw a card. Cool, we win. Alright. Nice little 3 deuce. Nice little 3 and 2 to finish it out. So let's go ahead and take a look at the deck list and do some closing thoughts here. So I like what's going on. Lotus Cobra was cool, interesting. Definitely, you know, an addition that I hadn't seen before. Love Solitude. I think if I were to play this deck again, I would want more Omnaths. It's kind of weird. I think Expressive Iteration is not the best in this deck. Even though you have, you know, Oath of Nissa to hit off of it, Prismatic Ending can be a little... there can be like spots where Prismatic Ending is not as good, and you have a lot of clunky cards, like a lot of 3s and a lot of 4s. So I think Iteration might not be as good as just playing more Omnaths and potentially another Mana Accelerant. So like cut the Iterations, play, you know, another Omnath, maybe 2 more Omnaths, maybe another like some sort of Mana Accelerant over here, maybe an Explore. I don't know exactly what that would be. Love the Teferis, love the Saheelis, love the Ice-Fangs in combination with the Felidars. Overall, deck felt pretty good, and I was definitely happy with it. Sideboard, Skydiver was pretty sick that one match, so maybe more Skydivers, and maybe you can do without the Emrakul if you don't have any mill opponents. So if you made it all the way to the end of the video, be sure to hit the like button. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought of the video. Consider subscribing to the channel if you enjoyed this type of content, and I will see everybody in the next one.